had a great answer for why he was able to do the cruise. As somebody who works for WWE, doing the pay-per-view kickoff shows every month, and he's a Fox employee, right? He's got the gig on Backstage every week. He said he can do it because I'm a grown-ass man, and I do whatever the fuck I want. That may be the best answer to a question about anything that I've heard in a very long time. I'm a grown-ass man, and I do whatever the fuck I want. Gotta love Booker T. One of the cooler moments for me was bumping into Jericho's dad, Ted Irvin. We actually bumped into him 3 different times on this trip, completely unexpected, completely unplanned. The first one wasn't even on the ship. I got into Miami a day early, and that night in Miami, before the cruise even started, you know, walking along this main street, I forgot which street, closed off at night. They had all kinds of like art stands and stuff, and I looked up, and I recognized him right away because he was just on Dynamite a few weeks ago. There he is, New York Rangers legend, Ted Irvin. Could not be a nicer guy. And he was talking us up to the point his family had to pull him away. It's like, well, we gotta go. And he's like, hey, find me on the ship. And he ended up finding us on the ship by accident. We didn't find him, he found us. There were nearly 24 matches on the ship spread out over the course of 4 days, including one on the first day between Britt Baker and Allie. That was just painful on it. This was a horrendous match. And there was another non-televised match a couple of days later, the first mixed tag team match in AEW history, with men being allowed to fight the women, and vice versa, with Kenny Omega and Riho. I didn't even know Riho was on the cruise. Apparently she flew in from Japan because Kenny Omega and Riho, Kenny Omega's a big Riho fan, teaming up to take on Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford in what I thought was actually a damn good match. The complete opposite of whatever that Britt Baker match was. This was a damn fine match. I'm not going to spoil the outcome because I don't know if they may use this on Dark Attack or not, so I won't say what. But we were supposed to get a rematch between Jon Moxley and Sammy Guevara in the first match on day 1, and Sammy did come out, but he did not wrestle. He only did an angle later on where Moxley finally caught up to him. He planted him with the paradigm shift. In fact, Sammy did not wrestle at all on the cruise. When I spotted him by the elevators, his ankle was all taped up. Apparently, he injured his ankle the week before, not in a match, but trying to take off his shoes. I don't know if he rolled his ankle, if he broke something in his ankle, if he hurt his ankle. I don't think it sounds very serious. He was walking around on it and everything, but that's a hell of a way to get injured, trying to take your shoes off. Among those 20-plus matches that they had on the cruise, there was a Dynamite taping on Tuesday while we were docked in the Bahamas. Great atmosphere. It really did, being there live was a lot of fun. It was very windy. And when I watched it back on TV, it came through on the audio, unfortunately. I'm not sure that there's anything they can do about that unless they put netting of some kind up. If they could somehow put like 15-foot netting, maybe attach it somehow all around the ship, that doesn't sound practical. You're in the middle of the ocean. There's not a whole lot you can do about that, but very much had the look and feel of one of those old Club La Vela Spring Break Nitro shows from back in the day, right down to somebody getting thrown into the pool. Jim Ross noted that he's not wearing his trademark cowboy hat for fear that it would fly away.
We have taken objective Duff.
We had the AEW Tag Team titles on the line in the opener. SCU defending against Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Hangman and Kenny get the win. This was the first title change in AEW history. An excellent opener. They're still teasing dissension between Page and the rest of the Elite. The Bucks came out, and they were celebrating with Kenny, and just the look on Hangman's face, like, oh, you're celebrating with him and not me, I see. So he leaves the ring, and he jumps into the crowd, and they body surf him, and he drinks beer, because he's got a drinking problem, of course. So this was great, and then now the inevitable match is against the Young Bucks, which I figured is where this whole thing was going to end up to begin with. I thought the Bucks would beat SCU to win the belts last month, and this was going to be the inevitable match. They took a long way, and instead we have Hangman and Omega, I guess, were the ones defending the belts against the beat Kelly with the lockjaw. So after the match, Tony Schiavone gets into the ring. He's wearing his Caribbean gear, his short sleeve island shirt. Tony Schiavone. He gets into the ring to interview Britt Baker, and Britt Baker proceeds to cut a heel promo. She's mocking Tony for working at Starbucks, which, in fact, I don't know if he still does, but a number of years ago, I think this was before he even started his podcast with Congressman, it was just something he wanted to do. I mean, he's always been doing the minor league baseball and football announcing down there in the Atlanta area. But he just one day said, I want to become a barista at Starbucks. And he did. He was for a time working at Starbucks as a barista. So she brings this up and she says, you were working at Starbucks and you were a shitty barista, and I'm proud of you because you went from that to where you are now. Everybody looks up to me. I'm the hottest woman on this boat. Just look at me. I'm smart and I'm educated. I'm a dentist. I didn't realize on TV they cut the promo off midway through. Now maybe it was designed that way. She talks so much about herself, we're just going to cut her off. I thought this was no good. I do think turning her heel is the way to go. She's a fucking dentist. Nobody likes the dentist. All due respect to all the dentists out there. People are terrified of the dentist. You can have the most immaculate teeth in the world. Nobody likes people poking around their teeth and their gums with sharp instruments. Nobody likes root canals. Nobody likes having a cavity filled or a tooth pulled. How she was a babyface to begin with, I'll never know. So her being a heel is the correct move, but it doesn't mean that her matches and promos are automatically good all of a sudden. They are not. We had the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz, taking on the Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt. One of the best moments from any of the matches, all crews, was Jericho coming out to Judas, the crowd singing along, and even when they cut the music off, the crowd said, fuck that, we're going to finish the song. They finished it out. Great moment. Jericho pinned Marco Stunt after hitting the Judas. In fact, he still can't figure out Jungle Boy, still can't put it down, but Marco made for some pretty easy praying. MJF beat Joey Janela. Janela was up top. He looked down by the stage, and there was Kip Sabian, his legit ex-girlfriend Penelope Ford, hanging out with Kip Sabian. And that distracted him, and he missed his elbow drop, and then MJF used his version of the crossroads, which he called the double cross. Spiked Janela right on his head gun. So MJF gets the money. And he's running down Cody and he's running down the fans. He says Cody last week talked about how MJF is just a chapter in his book. And MJF says, you're right, I am a chapter. I'm the last goddamn one. So Cody shows up and MJF reminds him, you can't touch me. No match around. But that doesn't mean that the Young Bucks can't touch him. So as he goes to leave, he turns around and he gets a double super kick. And the Bucks drag him over to the swimming pool and they chuck MJF into the pool. He's flailing around like he can't swim. He knew somebody was going in the pool. And it turned out to be MJF. And they ended the taping with Jon Moxley being Pac in a match where the winner would beat Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship Revolution. And Elevated Death Rider wins in a very good match between Pac and Moxley. This Wednesday, Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz team up again, this time to take on Darby Allin and Private Party. The Young Bucks take on The Butcher and the Blade. And Cody wrestles Kip Sabian. So that is the lineup for Dynamite coming up this Wednesday. So on the last day of the matches, which would have been Thursday, and I have no idea if any of these matches are ever going to see the light of day, if they're going to be used on AEW Dark, I have no idea. But the final night had Cody beating Joey Janela in the last match, and then he calls to these baby faces out here. Somebody back there, please, come on out. So out comes SCU, Daniels cuts a speech, I've been doing this 27 years, this is one of the best times of my career. Cody calls out Tony Khan, and Moxley's out there as well. He calls out Tony Khan, Tony comes out, and you know, again, people were giving Tony shit when he did the whole stunner thing a few months ago. And I said at the time, I said, it's not big deal. It did not air on television. It was, I think, Steve Austin's birthday. And they were just being silly. They called him into the ring. He did a stunner for the fun games. I don't get the sense that Tony, you know, when he says that I'm not going to be the card figure on TV, I don't want to be on TV, I get the sense he's telling the truth. He came out here. They weren't even on TV. And he looked nervous as all hell, like he just wanted to say something real quick. He thanked everybody. He put the mic down. He couldn't wait to get out of there. He did not want to be there.
Objective butter.
So we got Moxley then gets the mic. And he's got the eye patch on and everything. He looks like a pirate. And so Pirate Moxley takes the mic and says, you know, when I was a kid and I was younger, one of my favorite wrestlers was the Sandman. And he was going to do his best Sandman impersonation. The only problem was he didn't have any beer cans. So he said, we don't have any Budweisers, but we've got a bunch of fucking White Claws. So we're going to make do. He guzzled one of them down, and he smashed the can against his forehead a whole bunch of times. I don't think he bled, but he did his best Sandman impersonation. But the best part of all of this really was the Moxley. We got Jon Moxley karaoke. I don't know about you guys. I hate karaoke. I'm not very good at it.
We have taken objective apples.
I like karaoke. I'm not going to say whether I'm good or bad at it, but I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it. I have my song that I do, my go-to, and everybody has their song that they do. With Jon Moxley, I didn't get to do anything myself. I wasn't doing that, but I did watch Jon Moxley doing karaoke. He sang "Sweet Caroline." That I did not see live, but I did catch it. See Bohemian Rhapsody, I believe, with Priscilla Kelly and Darby Allin. He joined in during the climax of the song, and Moxley later on did "Bad Touch" by the Bloodhound, which is an oldie but a goodie. I say oldie, of course. It goes back to the late '90s, now it's considered oldie. So I managed to record some video of the latter two, which I will include when this hits YouTube, but you're going to hear me talking over, unfortunately, because if I play the audio, the YouTube gods will get angry with me. They'll copyright strike it. So even karaoke, they can strike it. The fucking car drives by outside while I'm live streaming, and they're playing Bop by Hanson, they can strike it. Which, in this neighborhood, I guarantee you that will never ever happen, but if it did, YouTube would know about it. So I'll play the video on the YouTube clip. If you want the video with the audio, it's up on my Twitter right now, at Solomons. If you want to judge for yourself how good of a karaoke performer Jon Moxley is. He's got the voice of, his voice is a lot closer to Vince McMahon, to be honest with you. He sounds a little bit like he's been gargling gravel.
We have taken objective apples.
But if you want to see the video with the audio, at Solomons on Twitter, people loved that Bohemian Rhapsody video. Last I checked, it had over 140,000 views. And I think half of that 140,000 probably tagged Renee Young on the video, so I'm sure she must have seen it by now. I mean, hell, she's probably heard it herself.
Objective
in the shower, maybe in bed. Who knows? Sing a little Queen as things start to get hot and heavy. Priscilla Kelly also sang "Wanna Be" by the Spice Girls, and Nyla Rose sang "I'm on a Boat" by the Lonely Island and Teeth. Luchasaurus, he sang some songs with that his mask on, and Marco Stunt sang a little bit as well. He also joined Jericho on stage at one point during his Rocky concert. I got video of Luchasaurus choke slamming Marco Stunt into the crowd, and then body surfing him before sending him back. Moxley was wearing an eye patch for all of the karaoke nonsense to sell the storyline injury with that spike to the eye from Chris Jericho. So anybody doubting his caveman, you can doubt no more. Moxley looked like he was having the time of his life. He stole some of Jericho's thunder away. He was less the Jericho cruiser. And they're nuts. They don't have him back next year for an event called Moxley Sings the Hits. I think they have to dedicate the whole karaoke session to him singing. The fans can choose. I think the fans should be allowed to choose what song they want him to sing, and then he should be forced to sing it. If that isn't an attraction of his next year, then they're doing rock. But he was having a blast. And it is amazing what being away from shitty creative can do to a man's happiness. No inoculations, no gas masks. He seems like a happy man. The other realization I came to, having listened to it a bunch of times now, is that Moxley's theme music in AEW is fantastic. I may like it even better than the instrumental that he used in WWE. And that was a great song too. You can decide for yourself. It's up on iTunes and Spotify right now if you want to download it. It's called Unscripted Violence by Violent Idols. They have a whole bunch of AEW themes up there now. Jurassic Express is up there, Darby Allin, Pac-Man, a few others. The Orange Cassidy stuff, everybody said, you gotta put the Orange Cassidy gear on. Don't shave and, go dress up as Orange Cassidy. You gotta meet Orange Cassidy. The two of you have to meet. You have to take a photo together. You got to be in the same place at the same time. And that coward was not on the cruise. That cowardly imposter was somewhere else. He was not on this cruise. None of the best friends were. Trent wasn't there. Chuck wasn't there. Chucky, whatever the fuck. And the Orange Cassidy imposter was not there either. So I took it upon myself to take that place and got some amusing photos with Cody and Hangman, the Elite, SCU, actually all of them except Cody in terms of the unenthusiastic Orange Cassidy thumbs up. I mean, Cody was nice and all. He was the only one, though, out of everybody who didn't stand up when people came up to take their photo during the photo session, which is fine. I mean, whatever, I guess. But everybody else did. Everybody else was cool about it. I got, they played along. They were great. But one of the peak moments of the day during the photo stuff on the ship was, so MJF is doing one of the photo sessions. Has this look on his face like he doesn't want, and I take that back. Actually, MJF was the other one who did not stand up, other than Cody, for the photos. But with MJF, you can understand it. It's part of his shtick, right? He doesn't want to be there. He's surrounded by a bunch of wrestling nerds and geeks. He'd rather be anywhere. He'd rather jump off the ship